All right, so here we go. When life and love takes unexpected turns. This is an Adam from Adam presentation. All right, so life crashes into us while we are living, while we are yet living. I was an Uber driver for 5 years here in Atlanta, Georgia. I had some of the most absolutely amazing interactions, conversations, stories. Two stories that stick out to me more than any other stories. Well, there's like a top 5 stories of passengers, maybe top 10. But in that top 10, there's two individuals that I interacted with on days where I was feeling down and out about my life, down and out in victimization mode. Why is me? Why is this happening to me? And the first lady, her name was Sarah. I picked Sarah up, getting off work. I got a phone call saying, this is so-and-so. I'm calling you for Sarah. She's in a wheelchair. She's going to need help getting in her car. And is your trunk big enough for her wheelchair? And I normally am like ready to pick people up and go. I don't want to get out the car and do all of that. So anyway, I was close by her job, so I picked her up. She had somebody else help her get in the car. They put up my trunk. It was an ordeal. She had to slide in. She get in the car and we're talking. My mind, for whatever reason, made this story that she was born this way. But something happened. We got in the car, and she asked me something, and I was having a bad day. It was a bad day. I was hating my life. Every element of my life, I was hating it. I was hating even more the fact that I had to drive her in the middle of traffic, which was really bad on a Friday evening, somewhere that was kind of far. I was looking forward to the earning, but I was looking forward to being in traffic. And somehow we got in a conversation, and I asked her, she says something like, oh, we were driving, because I said, hey, I'm gonna take a detour because of traffic. And she said, that's fine. And we're driving. She said, I miss living over here. And I said, oh, you used to live over here? She said, yeah, my house is over here. I said, oh, why'd you move? She says, oh, I had to go live in the nursing home because because of my accident. I said, oh, what happened? She says 2 years ago, it was a beautiful Saturday morning, springtime, and I decided to go clean my gutters, do some yard cleaning. And she climbed the ladder and was cleaning out a branch from her gutter and went to throw it, and it got caught on something, and she fell off her ladder and paralyzed herself and broke her neck and injured her spine and laid there for about 8 hours before somebody found her. She was thankful to be alive, and it was a miracle that she survived and only suffered minimum spinal damage. Her lower body was completely paralyzed inside. So she says she's been living in this home, this unit apartment for people paraplegics like herself. And I was in such a because here I am, oh, woe is my life. Look at me having to drive all these hours or whatever I was in. And it totally sobered me up. And then she went on and said, I was living such a normal life, Adam. One day she said I was a runner. I ran marathons. She said I was the most active person in my circle group. She says I was independent. I lived alone. I had lived alone for years. I did whatever I wanted to do. And then she says, and then I became totally dependent on others. Just totally shifted my life. And I'm just left speechless. I don't even know what to say. And she says, but I found peace. I found peace, and there's so many blessings that's happened. And she started encouraging me, right? It was the most humbling experience. That was Sarah. She fell off a ladder. Maybe a year before or a year later, I met Derek. Derek also had an accident, a young African-American guy, my same age. You were the same age. He may have been younger than me. Moved from the rural areas, from some rural city, country town to Atlanta, Georgia, living a great life, living downtown Atlanta in a high rise, making money, driving his dream car, living his dream complex, goes on a walk on Saturday down Peachtree, and a car turns right on red and does not see him, slams him across the street. He loses all of his mobility in his lower legs and his neck and his spine, and loses the ability to drive his dream car. He survived, and it took him about 2 years to recover, but he's telling me this story with a smile on his face, with a smile on his face. And he's like, Adam, never take anything for granted. He's like, I don't take anything for granted now. He's like, only time I get emotional and sad, I ask him, does he ever miss? He says the only time he gets emotional and sad is when he hear people complaining and taking their life for granted, taking their mobility for granted. He said that's the only time he gets sad and hurt. That's Derek. He got hit by a car on Peachtree Street. Then there's Zama, who got bit by a snake, a poisonous snake, and lost her arm function, went through pain, almost died, but she was able to survive it. I'm bringing these examples up not just to make us feel a sense of guilt for complaining, not to make us feel bad, but when Derek told me his story, I was very moved. I was quiet. I didn't know if I could talk to him the rest of the car ride. And I wanted to do all I could to make his life easier for him, right? I tried to pull up as close as I could to his unit. I wanted to help him out. Sarah, I didn't want to leave her, you know? She was like, oh, I'm good. You know, someone's going to come and they'll roll me in. I just want to do so much. I felt so much compassion, so much empathy for these stories. And the Spirit told me this recently when I was going through my heartbreaking breakup, that I needed to give the same compassion to myself that I was to give to Sarah or Derek. And that when we are going through our mental and emotional traumas, we don't give ourselves the same respect, and we don't give ourselves the same grace and compassion, and we don't give others the same grace and compassion. Do you think I would have been so empathetic, so sensitive, so caring to Derek if he would have told me, if he would have gotten in the car and had his head down and I was like, what's going on? He's like, oh, my girlfriend broke up with me. I would have just turned the music back up and probably said, oh, you know, you'll be good. Life goes on. There's more fish. There's plenty of fish in the sea, right? I may have not taken time to acknowledge his pain or his trauma as much as I would his physical pain and trauma. And so the Spirit was telling me that we don't respect the spiritual, emotional trauma as much as we do physical. And there's reasons for it. You know, we live in a physical material world where you got to have your body. You got to have these things to survive, and we're all material minded. But the Spirit let me know that when we keep moving through life, right, we causing ourselves more damage, more harm, and it's actually delaying us and causing us to get stuck. And so when it comes to surviving life, when life and love takes unexpected turns, one of the bases that the Spirit's been giving me to share with everybody and myself is that release the guilt and fear that, oh, well, there's somebody that has it worse. There's somebody that has this going on. But allow yourself the same healing, the same recovery, the same compassion, the same type of nurturing and compassion and time that we would give to Sarah in the wheelchair, to Derek on the crutches, to Zama, who lost the movement of her arm from the snake bite. And that even though ours may not be physical, we still have situations that come to us that that paralyze us inside, paralyze us with traumas, disrupt our life, disrupt our heart, disrupt our emotions, disrupt our vision to see properly, get us stuck, but we don't give ourselves that same grace, that same compassion. I had a vision back in December, and it was very scary. I woke up one morning and I saw my room turn into like a hospital room. I was like, there's an IV coming out of me. I saw balloons saying, get well. And I kept like rubbing my eyes, like, I was like, I hope this isn't a foreshadow. I hope this isn't a foreshadow. And the Spirit said, no, it's not a foreshadow. We're trying to illustrate to you what you're going through. You're ready to get up and go about your life and go get some work done, but you're sick, Adam. They're like, you're sick and you need to heal. Give yourself that grace and compassion. And that's when this concept beginning to come over me. And I deal with clients every day going through abandonment, going through different things. And what's happening is no one is really allowing themselves the compassion to heal, to recover, to take it easy, to be patient on themselves. And so the first thing first about experiencing bad traumas in life or a love when they take unexpected turns is to admit that you're hurting and give yourself that permission so your healing can happen. So when we look at this, I want us to ask the question, what happened in your life when life and love took an unexpected turn? Did you fall off the ladder? Did you get blindsided by a bus, a car, a bicycle? Did a snake bite you? Or did you fall off a ladder, get ran over by a bicycle, and then a snake bit you while you was on the ground? Let's talk about this really quick and see where everybody's at. So when we go through these pains, it's always intensified because of the loss of the investments, the memories, the hopes, the dreams, and the goals. But again, if we can allow ourselves to heal, allow ourselves the compassion, the nurturing, and give ourselves the time to be still and to just heal. And then so tonight's Raise Your Vibration, I want to give us a simple, but yet common, yet old school, yet redundant healing technique. It's one of the basics techniques that I can offer a person when they're going through just needing to heal and comfort themselves day to day, week to week, moment by moment. This is not going to be something super advanced. It's not going to be super mental. I just want to basically give you a prayer and meditation that I believe could be your rock support technique to raise your vibration as you heal and as you go through life. And it's nothing new to most of us, is actually just based on this idea that if we let go and accept that this is not our life, it's only our ride, it's only our experience. And in order for any type of healing to take place, any type of raising our vibration to take place, we must be able to relax, release, relax, and align our vibration. And we do that by surrendering and letting go of control of our life and realizing this is just our ride, not our life. And the more we can sit back and become a passenger, we can allow experiences to come through us. And we still have to heal and give ourselves nurturing pain. And one of the most simplest, basic techniques to do that, to raise your vibration in order to release control so you can heal and get your compassion and get the alignment that you need, is Psalms 23. I call it RYV with Psalms 23. Raise your vibration with Psalms 23. The Psalms are magical. They're prayers and chants that can truly raise your vibration. But the key is to focus the mind on the mental image and the narrative suggested in each word or each line. And when you digest the images and narratives as truth by faith, what happens is it begins to create an auto-suggestive mental image and mental response in your body. So Psalms 23 says, the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow all of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So what I want to do is just take us through this and break this down to us in ways that we may have not understood before. Because what I have noticed in my life and in lives of other people, that it is that you can use each one of these lines as mantras, as healing mantras to align yourself. We won't get through all of it tonight because we're going to talk and discuss it. But if you start with just the first line, the Lord is your shepherd. And when you're writing out this prayer, you're creating your own mantra, which I forgot to put in the PowerPoint slide. I'm encouraging you all to do, even to tonight, possibly, as you're listening to this. If you can just jot down in your mind's eye, what is your higher power? That is the Lord. Lord just means your higher power. And the idea here in this first line is that sheep are stupid and dumb. right? So we all of us in all of our stories, we all have one commonality. Why didn't we know better? Why didn't we see better? Why did we make that choice? Why did we not know better? So this idea is that we actually think that we could avoid making mistakes. One of my favorite quotes from Thomas Merton, he says that the biggest mistake that we ever make is thinking that we will not make any mistakes or being surprised. He says one of the biggest mistakes is being surprised that we made mistakes. And so there is this estimate that we think we won't do something else again. We think that we're going to learn or we won't repeat it. But the reality is that we are going to be sheep. We were sheep yesterday. We will be sheep today. We'll be sheep tomorrow. We just will not be able to see all the things that we need to see. And so you can release and relax that stress through this opening line of this mantra by saying that my higher power is my shepherd. I'm going to follow it. And so what you're saying is you're releasing control of your life to some higher power, the controller and the master intelligence of your environment. And it's allowing you to remember to get out of your own high esteem of your own calculations and your own trying to management and control your life. When you make a surrender in this prayer, you're automatically shifting your focus and shifting your attention out of your mind to say, I'm not being controlled by my ego, my choices. I am going to have the faith and courage to trust in a higher power. And that's going to give you a comfort and security knowing that you're in good hands, whatever come your way. And one of the reasons that humans suffer, we suffer so much, is because of humanity's core wound. The core wound that all of us suffer, that creates so much suffering, that creates so much anxiety in us, is this idea that whenever we go through any type of hardship, whenever you fall off the ladder, get blindsided, or get bit by a snake, we all take this as this idea that we've been abandoned, we've been played, we've been tricked by a higher power. And therefore, it makes us feel like we have to be, it makes us want to become more dependent on our own calculations, on our own intelligence to figure out so we won't get played again, so we won't get tricked again. And it makes us not want to trust the creator. And so one of the illusions that we have to use our faith is to understand no matter what befalls me, I am going to trust over and over and over again, over and over and over again. Despite all appearances, faith says the universe is friendly and supportive to me. The universe is setting me up for my best. The universe is looking out for me. Even right now, I feel up this ladder. Why did the angels protect me? Why did they not prevent that snake from biting me? Why did they not prevent that car from running me over? Why did they make that person be more considerate of me? And so we have to address that core wound that deep down inside, underneath every hurt, underneath under suffering, is this sense of I was abandoned by the universe. I was abandoned by my higher power. And so when you make this statement of faith, the Lord is my shepherd, whatever you call, whoever is your higher power, whether it's your ancestors, whether it's Christ, whether it is the angels, whatever name you call your higher power, you're saying, I still release control of my life. That something else, there's an overcare, there's an over control I can trust and put my faith in, that I don't have to rely on my own calculations to figure it out. I don't have to rely on my own judgments. I don't have to rely on my own strategy and plans, but I can trust that in each moment I will be led by my higher power, and it has my best interest because I am like a sheep. I can't see 6 feet in front of me, and I am dumb like a sheep. And if we begin to rely on our own intelligence, our own calculations, we will always stay in a state of anxiety. We'll be left always trying to figure it out. We're always trying to figure out, why did I fall off that ladder? Why didn't I see that car coming? Why did that person not stop on brakes? Why didn't they blow their horn? Why were they so rude? Why were they so mean? Why did that snake so evil? Why was the snake allowed to bite me? Why did somebody warn me? Instead of saying, you know what? I am still releasing control. And when you're given to that core wound, that core trauma that you've been abandoned or tricked or played by the higher power, it creates anxiety and fear, and it makes you rely more on your mind's intelligence. And anytime you rely on your mind doesn't know what you need. Your mind cannot be your shepherd. Your calculations can't be your shepherd. Your own plans can't be your shepherd because it does not know what you need like your higher power dwells in you. And then the next line, that next phase says, I shall not want, or I shall not need anything. And this is important of the I. When you make this affirmation, this is an affirmation. The first one is an acknowledgement. The Lord is my shepherd. That's a declaration of your faith in a higher power and the control of that higher power. Now here comes an affirmation. I shall not want. I shall not be in need. This is the I. You're manifesting. I am not going to be in need of anything. And the real you is never in need. Anytime you have a desire, the desire is only here to let you know what's coming. It's not here to represent a lack to you. Desires doesn't mean there's something lacking. The desires is something is coming. And all you got to do is say yes. This is why Jesus said the Father knows what you need before you ask. And what is it that we all want? What we all want is beauty, truth, and goodness. We want a life that feels beautiful. We want a lover that looks beautiful. We want truth, which is our correctness, which is our alignment. We want something real and lasting. Truth represents that which is real and lasting. And we want goodness. We want to be able to enjoy life. And this is ultimately what we all want. Underneath that beautiful, underneath that loving mate, we want beauty. Underneath that financial security and that long-term commitment, we want the truth. And underneath just wanting satisfaction and joy, we want goodness each day. And you can guaranteed by saying, I don't have to be in want of these things because the Lord is my shepherd. My higher power is making sure that I have these things. All I got to do is just say yes to them. And so what happens is we mistake the things that represent beauty to us. We mistake the things that represent truth to us. We mistake the things that represent goodness to us as the things that we want. But what we want are the inner resources. You want a lover because you want the beauty that having that partner makes you feel. You want that commitment because the truth of a long-term commitment, but the security that truth gives you. And you want the satisfaction of having a partner. It feels good to have someone to share your life with. But ultimately what you want is beauty, truth, and goodness. And beauty, truth, and goodness can come from the inside of you anyway. And so what happens is we begin to cry for a stone thinking it's bread. Jesus told his parable where he said, he asked his disciples, which one of you all, if your son begged you for a stone, begged you for a piece of bread, will give him a stone? Or beg for a serpent, beg for a piece of a rope, will give him a serpent. And what he was trying to illustrate in that parable is this right here. You have a little child, and that little child goes and reaches for the stone because it thinks it's a piece of bread. And that child is convinced that that stone is going to be a piece of bread and wants to put it in its mouth. But he says, if you're a good parent, if you're a wise parent, you're not going to give that child that stone, no matter how much that child cries and throws a temper tantrum. You're not going to say, okay, well, here's the stone, you asked for it, but you want to find out the hard way that it's not bread. No, you're going to take that stone from that child. You're going to keep that child from having that piece of stone until you can give them some bread that they want. Or he said, which one of you all are going to give your child the snake if they want to play with the rope? And so the child is mistaking the snake as a rope. Oh, look at this fun little rope. I want to play with it. But you're not going to give that child that snake, no matter how much that child says, I want that, I want that, I want that. Because you understand that the child thinks it wants that snake, but what it wants is a rope. But you're really going to take time to make that child a rope. It may take some patience. It may take some time. And so the reason why we feel like we're not getting what we want is because we're crying for the symbol of the thing and not asking the universe, or not asking the Father, not asking our Creator, not asking our higher powers for the value, right? What we want is to feel a sense of beauty. What we want is to feel something good inside of ourselves. What we want is truth, something lasting and long-term that we can rely on and have comfort and security in. But we continue to ask for the created thing and not the things from the Creator. But when you say, I shall not want, you're resting your assurance that you will have what you need, what you will feel. No matter how amazing your financial income is, It's all zeros. It's just figment of your imagination. It makes you feel peace. Your partner, your soulmate, it's not them, but it's what the symbol of them produces in your brain to make you feel a sense of comfort or aliveness. You can have that feeling without the symbol of it. It's called the inner resources. It's the value of the thing. And so what we can be rest assured is that as long as we are in need, we can have the desires, but if we can get to the root of that desire, we will realize we will never go without it. If we get out the way and let ourselves be guided there. And that's why the next line says, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. There's this idea of we want the green pastures represents peace, calmness, right? Every therapist will tell you that they paint their walls green to give people help people calm down, brings us peace. And so the universe is always trying to get you to calm down in the now. It tries to get your mind to rest. It gives you this reassurance that all is going to be taken care of. If you know that Lord is your shepherd, you shall not want. You can now lie down and rest assured. Tell your mind, chill out, relax. Everything is under control. Let me now rest here in the power of the now moment. And there's never anything that you need in the now moment. In the now, there's not anything that's ever lacking in your life. Your past may haunt you, your future may cause you fears, but the universe is trying to get you always calm down right here, Adam. Come back to right now. Come back to right now. There's always saying when I get in my pain and in my suffering, come right now. And you can even let the pain be a portal to the now moment versus the suffering is trying to resist it. Suffering happens when you resist the pain, when you wish it was going away or you're fearful of something in the future. But the universe is always trying to get you centered right here in the now, in this now moment where you're never not in need of anything. And it's resting assured that, look, in this moment, let me take a deep breath, let me breathe, and let me bring my focus right back here, right now, where this pain is not going to interfere. Let's go back to the analogy of Sarah, the paraplegic who fell off the ladder. Her mind can cause her suffering saying, you'll never drive your car again. You'll have to move out of your house that you worked so hard for. You'll never run a marathon. These are all past and present things. But in the present, she has no problem. She's taken care of. She's been given, she has her health insurance. She has a place. It may not be the level that she thinks she wants, but she has all she needs. And so for us, when we're going through, we've got to remind ourselves, let me lay down right here in the power of this now moment. Take a deep breath in. If I have to cry, if I have to feel this pain, but let me stay away from the past, what was, and let me stay away from the future or what I may not have. And when you're in this power moment, you have the peace that outpass all understanding. If you rely on your faith, give up control, and have the courage to trust. And that courage sounds something like this: unto thee, O Lord, do I release control of this situation. And you can also release control and lay down in that green pasture by saying, thank you, Lord, for this momentary, whatever it may be, momentary pain and horror that I'm going through, for this momentary peace and release. But in the green pastures represents the present moment that you can give gratitude for. And then you'll be led by the still waters. And still waters represents just easy. It's the easy waters of where your inner needs will be met with the most minimum ease and effort. You'll be led to a path of least resistance for your unique design. So what that means, if you think about the analogy, think about the image of sheep going to a still water versus a rocky whitewater rapid. So the shepherd is very, very keen on making sure the sheep go through a still water, right? Where the sheep don't have to worry about when they bend their neck down to drink, they don't have to worry about being swept away in the tide. They don't have to worry about being there. Is it like dodgeball or dodge? What's the jump rope game where you have to like, the rope is going and you got to get in it? I don't know what you call it. Who named that rope? Who played jump rope?
Double Dutch.
Double Dutch. So it's not like a game of double Dutch where you got to be like, okay, is it safe to jump in the water right now? And so the image of the still waters is saying, here's these sheep, very helpless, but they're being led. The shepherd's making sure that he finds the easiest water for them to drink from. So they don't have to get lost in the current. They got to be worried about, is it safe now? The twigs coming by to hit them and knock them upside their head. And so everything that you will need to take action on, it'll be led to you with so much ease and so much effort. If it just is a matter of just initiating when you initiate, if you're an initiator, responding to just what shows up, taking the invitation just to say yes. But you don't have to rely on your mind to figure out, well, what's my strategy to get a new partner? What's my strategy to get this house, and go into stress over the things that you think you need? You'll be led to it so easy, and it'll take such minimum effort. And so when you affirm this statement, I'm led by the still waters, what you're affirming is that everything that you do need for your goodness, for your truth and your beauty, it will be led to you, and you'll be led to it, and it would require the most minimum effort to receive it, to act on it. You don't have to compete. You don't have to work for it. All you got to do is just act on it in such an easy way. It's just to say, oh, it's right here. Do you want this job? Yeah. All right, send me your resume. Someone will come show up in your life so easy and so effortless, whatever you need. And so every time you affirm this, you're affirming that it helps you relax deeper into your body, deeper into the green pastures. It allows you to release more control. It allows you to take more control back from your ego and your mind, because you can say, we don't have to figure it out. We don't have to worry about a strategy to get this or figure out how. We'll be led by the still waters. And then it says, he restored my soul. While we're being led to the still waters and while we're in green pastures, that deep trauma, all the healing that we need to regain and heal ourselves, it's happening automatic. It's happening automatic. When you are in alignment and you're surrendering in the now, and you're trusting and having courage to trust the higher power, you're naturally being healed from your pain and your trauma. Your past is healed in the now. You don't have to go work on your healing. You don't have to go aggressively go after your healing. It is the universe is doing it inside of you automatically. It's equal to when you get cut and you put a Band-Aid on. None of us have to sit here and be like, oh, I got cut. I got to go home, y'all, work on my healing. I got cut on my finger. I got to go home and work on this healing. Let me go ground and clear so I can get my body healed. No, all you got to do is put a Band-Aid on, cover it, get still, cover it up, and in a few days, it's healed. That's the same thing what happens to us if we get out of the way. It may hurt, it may pain, but if we get still in the green pastures, get out of our minds, and let ourselves be led, our healing and our trauma is naturally going to be restored and taken care of. You will heal as you go. You will heal as you go forth. If you're staying in your faith, if you're staying in relying on the green pastures and being led by the still waters and trusting that there's nothing that you want, it may make you scary, right? It's going to be scary because all those pain, those traumas are going to be causing fears, and it'd be uncomfortable at night, and you're going to want to take some drugs to numb the pain. But if you don't take any drugs to numb the pain, your healing will happen. Or you want to distract yourself. But if you just lay there, you may have to cry, it may be uncomfortable, but the healing is coming up. If you can feel it, it can be healed. And so all you got to do is really just stay in allowance. There's nothing to fix. There's no getting. Your faith is going to begin to change your narratives. The simple faith that the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, that's automatically creating a re-narrative in your head that's automatically going back to create the healing in you. Okay? And then your faith will automatically change your narratives, and then your new narratives will transmute the old narratives. And then the last one for tonight, it says, he leadeth me in the paths of righteousness. there's this idea that we get consumed with, well, where are we going? Well, where are we headed to? What's going to be in our future? I don't like where this looks. I don't like this house is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be the right path for me. I don't know if it's going to be correct for me. But you have to have faith and courage that the path is unfolding in your favor and the favor of those you love. You're being led on a journey that's going to be correct for you. You may say, but I don't feel like this is going to lead me to the life of my dreams. I don't feel like it's going to lead me to the life of my goals. But you can be less assured it's going to be the life that is correct for you. It's going to be the life that you enjoy. It's going to be the life that's going to bring you in line with your most authentic self. It is a path that you're led on that's going to bring your authentic self out. Maybe not what you thought you wanted or thought you needed, but it's going to be the path that's going to be the most true for you. So you can be released of fear of being led somewhere that you're not going to like, or it's going to be an error. And so that the statement in your own words, you want to affirm something that says, I'm led by the paths of righteousness. I'm led to the correct paths for myself. And once again, it reaffirms you to let go even more control and release, bring even more release, more relaxation, alignment, so you can allow yourself to be led without interfering, without getting back in your mind, and you can allow the restoration to continue to come. Because the more you stay aligned and surrendered, the more healing to come. The more healing, the more you're restored, the more you're led to still waters, the more you're staying in the power of now, the more that you know that there's nothing that you need to want, and the more you can rest assured that there's something higher power in control of you. We'll finish part 2 next Friday, or when I come back.